That should be good enough. All right. That's nice. That's nice. It's a weird angle. Whatever. What's up? I'm just going to wait for a few people to join before we get this pregame started. And sorry that I don't have my Sony working right now. I'm on the iPhone doing this live stream. But I figured, since I'm 38 now, I'll give you guys the quick Q&A that you guys asked for. I'll answer some of the questions right now. I haven't even checked them out, so this is going to be straight up winging it. We'll see what happens. Let's see. Let's see your questions. Here we go. I got them ready to go. We'll go one by one at a time. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining me today. I got a, this is so, this live stream is so ratchet. Hold on. I'm trying to make this stay up. Okay. That's going to have to be good enough for now. All right. That's better. So we got a bottle of 1800 tequila. Thank you, E Pluribus Bigly. We got a bottle of 1800 Añejo. I decided to go for the most expensive 1800 bottle I found because it is my birthday, and I wanted something a little delicious. So we're doing the Añejo today, which I believe means it's been aged a certain amount of time. So this was aged for more than 12 months, more than a year, and that's why it's got this darker color, because it picks up the color from the barrels when it's Añejo. That's why it's darker. So let's pour this. Let's wait for a few people to join, and then we'll go through the Q&A. Oh, yes. I hope I can have a drink on YouTube. I don't know the policies about this, but we'll figure out. Thanks, Big J. We'll figure out that policy soon enough. Now, if you are under 21, remember, you got to be 21 to drink. So don't drink unless you're 21 plus. And if you're driving, please take an Uber. With Uber and Lyft, there's no need to drink and drive anymore. So cheers, everybody. Cheers, fellow patriots. It smells good. What's up, Paul? Yeah, so I'm working on a birthday vlog for you guys. I was with my my girl Andrea for the weekend, and she's big MAGA, as you guys probably saw on my community page. So we shot a vlog together. It's just going to be a straight up vlog. I did get recognized at one point at a restaurant and got by a guy named Tommy, and he wanted to be in the video. So I have a 3-minute video of him talking about his political beliefs that I'll put separately, because I think that he said a lot of really cool stuff. But all right, we got some questions here that I'll go through right now for my birthday. And of course, if you guys want to ask more questions, just ask whatever you want. The more I drink, the more open I'll be, obviously. Okay, this question's from Watch Winder. My family and I are conservatives living in a crime-infested blue state. We've decided to walk away. Oh, walk away, look at that. We've decided to walk away and start new in Florida. What city do you recommend that is family-friendly? I'm going to be honest with you guys. I think if you're looking for family-friendly, that's the key word that I see here. I'm going to have to go with Orlando. I think Orlando is probably the most family-friendly city in Florida. And the reason why is because everything kind of caters around Disney World and Disneyland and all that stuff. So you have a lot of really fun restaurants, theme parks, things to do with your family, a lot of tourists, obviously, but family-friendly. I'm going to have to go with Orlando as my number one pick. After that, I'll probably have to go with maybe Fort Lauderdale, because Fort Lauderdale doesn't attract the riffraff that Miami does. I always called Fort Lauderdale a bit of a more mature, laid-back version of Miami. And then I would also say probably Tampa. I think those 3 areas of Florida, if you're looking for family-friendly, you're going to go Orlando, Fort Lauderdale, and then Tampa. But in terms of being a open Trump supporter, I think if you're in the main cities, Tampa's probably your best bet, followed by Fort Lauderdale, followed by Orlando. Orlando itself is quite liberal, but obviously the surrounding areas are all Trump country. All right, this one comes from one of my most loyal subscribers. Thanks, P. Patterson. He says, where in Florida is your favorite place to spend time and do interviews with people? So I got to say, my favorite places in Florida to shoot interviews, I think number one has to be Clearwater Beach because it's absolutely beautiful, and you get a lot of people visiting there from all around the country. But I'm going to go Clearwater Beach number one. I'm going to have to say Daytona Beach is also up there because Daytona Beach is Trump country. So when I'm there, I pretty much know that I'm going to get a lot of Trump supporters, conservatives, Republicans on my channel, which obviously I always enjoy. It makes my life a little easier. I think Miami's kind of cool. If you go to Lincoln Road or Lincoln Ave, whatever it's called, that's a great place to shoot. And then, of course, there's always the classics like St. Augustine. For those of you who have not been to St. Augustine, I highly recommend St. Augustine. That place is awesome to visit. A lot of great bars, restaurants, really cool culture in St. Augustine. Okay, this is from E Pluribus Bigley. Do you have plans to travel and live abroad for an extended time again? I go back and forth constantly. I see the value of being in the U.S. and going out and interviewing people politically, but for my own peace of mind, as you guys know, doing this political stuff is a very, I want to say, mentally challenging thing. It's can be stressful because you do get, I get death threats sometimes. Let's just be honest. I've gotten only a few through YouTube, which is crazy. Usually YouTube will automatically remove those comments, but I've seen them in the filtered comment section, which is crazy. But yeah, I mean, doing politics is mental, a lot of mental energy. So sometimes it's nice to leave the country and get away and turn the brain off and move to like Mexico or Thailand or Philippines. So my honest answer is as soon as Philippines opens to non-vaccinated individuals, I'll probably go to the Philippines for 6 months just to kind of explore that. But obviously, next year at some point, I need to be here for the midterms. And then, of course, for 2023, I have to pretty much be here the whole year so I could support Trump. Or DeSantis. We'll see who runs. Okay, this is from Margot Kavanaugh. My question, since you mentioned Taco Tuesday, do you have a good taco recipe or know where to find good ones? I'm having a difficult time finding good recipes online. Most look tasty but aren't very. So if you guys go to my website, BeFreeMySheeple.com, I actually wrote an article about my favorite tacos in the world. And I'm going to be honest, when it comes to price, the tacos in Mexico are unbeatable. You could find tacos for like 50 cents. And of course, they're delicious, but they're also very basic tacos like al pastor, beef, basic stuff. I find Americanized tacos to be more delicious, and I'll tell you why. Americanized tacos, they usually get super creative and they do a lot more fusion. So what that means is they'll do things like pork belly tacos, they'll do Korean barbecue tacos, they'll do like Thai shrimp tacos. So they'll combine, global fusion foods with Mexican food, and I think that is really where it's at. To me, that makes it super exciting and it makes a difference. So I'm going to say if you're looking at taste and price, you're going to want to go to Mexico. But if you're looking at novelty and unique recipes, I'm going to have to go US. Definitely a controversial answer. All right, Mr. Wright says, why are you not sponsored yet? Top quality research you do. I would think Politico would be, what does this say? Chomping at the bit to sign you up. I really would love to work for a platform as kind of like an on the ground person who goes to events and interviews people on the street. I think that that's something I'd love to do, to have a bigger platform for myself. I think I'm decent at interviewing people because I'm comfortable talking to anybody, which I think helps interview people. But I guess haven't been discovered yet. My channel's still small and I'm fighting against the YouTube algorithm every day as I mentioned to you guys. And so I'm suppressed. But I will say yesterday in Orlando, I was at a restaurant and I got recognized by two people in one restaurant, which has never happened before. Usually it's been like one if I'm lucky. But I saw one guy named Tommy and his wife, they recognized me, and then I saw a family, I believe they were Cubans, and they all supported my channel and watched my stuff. And what was really exciting about that is the father was probably about 40 years old and his son was probably, I don't know, maybe 18 or 17, something like that. But his son was also a big Trump supporter, and that gives me hope for the future because not all kids are indoctrinated by this education system. So obviously I think it takes strong parenting and good parenting to give your kids strong values that they can be confident about. And that was really nice to see for that family. Margaret Davis says, she knows sent me to you. Yeah, if you guys are looking for a up and coming channel, It's called 45 Trump News. She focuses on Trump news, obviously. Really nice woman, and she's got a small little channel she just started. I think she's at 500 subs. So if you guys want to go give her a subscribe just to support her on YouTube, just search 45 Trump News. So I'm just going to be on for a little bit right now with you guys. What dump are you in? Yes, I am in a dump. I am in a dump right now in Tampa. It is a very cheap hotel. But the reason why I'm happy is because I lost a lot of money at the casino last night. So this kind of offsets my my rough night where I just got abused. It was actually my worst night ever at a casino in terms of how quickly I lost. I just could not get on a streak at all. And I was basically done within an hour. It was unbelievable. They just wiped me out like this. Roughest night. I did not have the birthday gods or the casino luck on my side, which was quite unfortunate. But that's okay. These things happen. And that's why I try to live frugally so I can do things like gamble and not really worry about it. So, yes, I'm in a dump. I will not tell you the name of the dump because I don't want to badmouth a business. But they've been very kind to me, so the customer service has been okay so far. All right, let's go to some comments that are coming in. I see a few of you writing some stuff right here. Let me go to my channel on YouTube real quick on my desktop. Hold on. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. From Sweden. It's really cool to have like an international audience. Hold on, this Wi-Fi here is really slow. So I'm streaming right now from my cell phone, on my phone, and I'm trying to read the comments on YouTube on desktop. But this internet here is not the best. Let's see if I can pull it up on my phone. Nope, it's not working. All right, here we go, guys. Happy birthday from a lot of people. Thank you so much, everybody who said happy birthday. I really appreciate that. E Pluribus Bigley said Manila is wild. That's kind of what I've heard. And I do think that I will like Filipino culture a lot in terms of dating and relationships. From what I've heard about the women there, they are very high quality, high caliber women, very conservative values. And, I'm very excited to go meet that. Thank you so much, Big Dog. That's going to pay for a drink right now in Tampa because drinks here are pretty cheap. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Silver and Black says Latinos for Trump. Hell yeah, I got my hat on, of course. I've been wearing my hat out all the time lately. And, no one has really given me any trouble so far. Apparently yesterday, though, when I was in the restaurant in Orlando, there were some, like, pink-haired girls behind me, clearly liberals, and they were giving me dirty looks. I didn't see it, but my girl, Andrea, said that they were giving me dirty looks. But that's about it. But I did have a dream last night, guys, that somebody attacked me for my MAGA hat. So I had a dream last night. I hope that that's not foreshadowing. But I think, obviously, subconsciously, I am a little concerned about being attacked publicly if I have the MAGA hat on. So that's definitely a concern that I always have, and I'm always very aware of my surroundings. But so far, I have not had any issues. Carlos Hopkins said the speech today, Trump's speech, 1.5 hours long, was awesome. I haven't seen it yet. However, I'm pretty sure that it's not going to be on YouTube because they've been taking down all of his speeches lately because obviously Trump has been making some claims that they don't like. We're not going to talk about that here. You guys know what claims I'm talking about. But I'm pretty sure I could find that on Rumble. From Sweden, from the Malmo son, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Bob P. I have family all around you in Florida. You love the beaches, but the area from southeast of Tampa, hook up the middle Lakeland, Ocala, Gainesville, High Springs, west of Pensacola, all might be good interviews. Yeah, probably. I think once I get to those areas, it's probably going to be Trump country because outside of all the cities, that's when you start going to see Trump town. Wake and Bake, Trump 2024, save America. That's right. We really do need to save America. I got a funny story for you guys today. So I was on Bumble, the dating app today, and there was a girl that I had matched with a few weeks ago, and very beautiful girl. And we're just going to call her the letter K because her name starts with K. So me and Kay, we shared a few messages, but then I just kind of disappeared because I don't put a lot of faith in the dating apps anymore. I just don't really care about them. I'm kind of on them just to see like if I get any really good matches, and if I do, maybe I'll put effort in, but honestly, still not really. I just think dating apps suck, and I just think that they're very unhealthy for society, but ignoring that for now. I didn't respond to her last week, but she messaged me today. So I said, it's my birthday. You want to grab a drink? She said, yes. I said, great. Send me your number. But then she unmatched me. I was like, what the hell? What happened was about 20 minutes before she had messaged me, I had updated my Bumble profile to mention that I'm a Trump supporter. And I'm guessing once plans with her started to become real, she reread my profile, saw that I was a Trump supporter, and she immediately unmatched me. That was my theory. So then I go on Instagram, my shadow banned Instagram account, and I check my messages. I get a message request from her. So think about this. She unmatches me after we already made tentative plans. Then she finds me on Instagram, DMs me, all right? And she actually apologizes and says, I did not realize that you were such a big Trump supporter. I am a huge social worker, and Trump supporters are a no-go for me. So my theory was right. I knew exactly why she matched me. And then she said Biden 2024, and that's fine. Like, if you want to support Biden, go ahead. I'm whatever. I'm not angry about it. Obviously, I don't think that you have the critical thinking skills, and I think that you're probably brainwashed. But ignoring that, that's what you want to do. Good for you. To me, it's not a deal breaker. If a girl wants to vote for Biden, not a deal breaker. If anything, I see that as an opportunity to maybe open her mind to a different perspective. So anyway, we parted ways. Whatever. My point is, dating apps are terrible. Oh my goodness, Tara! Wow, that's the best. That's the biggest super chat I've ever gotten. What a nice surprise! I guess you're paying for dinner tonight. Thank you so much. I guess I owe you dinner. So this is going to come right back to you, Tara. You know that. You give me $50, we go out for food, and I got you back. But the bottom line is, dating apps are crazy because I see so many liberal girls in their profile put no Trump supporters. Why is that okay? So now my bio says Trump supporters. And apparently that's turning off all the liberal girls where it's like a complete deal breaker. And I think that's BS because we don't see Biden voters as deal breakers. They see us as deal breakers. That's pretty crazy to me. But anyway, let's see. Static Danielle, happy birthday from Croatia. Come over. It's beautiful. I would love to come to Croatia. I know that you guys have like Yacht Week or something, or Yacht Month. I know a lot of people that have gone there. It looks incredible. So at some point, I will make my way to Croatia. Again, I'm not vaccinated, nor do I plan on ever being vaccinated. So I have to probably wait to get into a lot of these countries for a couple of years. And that's kind of unfortunate. Here we go. Silver Black, whatever you do, keep pushing for freedom and keep interviewing them chicas guapas. That's right. So guys, I want to let you know that I launched a new Instagram page, which Tara, I'd love for you to be on at some point. And the page is called Hot Chicks for Trump. So if you go on Instagram, guys, search Hot Chicks for Trump. Spelt that exactly like that. I don't have any posts yet, but I'm going to be putting posts up there of beautiful women that I meet. And we're going to do photo shoots because I got the cameras, I got the equipment. And I'm going to become a Trump conservative hot girl chick photographer. And I think that'll be kind of fun to do. So I'm going to be working on that. I already have a few girls I took some photos of. Maybe that'll be up later today, maybe tomorrow. I don't know. I'm drinking, so maybe tomorrow. Take off a Tara. Happy birthday. Thank you so much, Senorita. I miss you. I hope I see you soon. My dear, sweet patriot. Static Danielle. Nice chicas in Croatia. They need your expertise. Yeah, I'd love to come. I know that European women love American men. And I do know that there are not a lot of Latinos or Mexicans that go there. So when I'm in these countries, I definitely stand out, which I think, can definitely, help in terms of dating. It makes me more unique, which is what a lot of people like. E pluribus. Trump had like 500,000 watching his last speech, 500K or something, which is crazy because it goes to show you that YouTube may have been suppressing his numbers as well. Who knows? We don't know. That's just a theory. YouTube, don't strike me. That's just a theory. I'm just speaking freely right now. Big Dog Bulldog, the Polish princess. Yes, Tara is the Polish princess. And I do hope that me and her can collaborate soon. Obviously, I've been trying to, but she's been in New York this whole time, and I tried to avoid New York, so it just hasn't been happening. But hopefully soon we'll be doing something again. Alan Pissack, one of my loyal viewers, says, I'm going to try to pronounce this. Vratska. I don't know what that means, but it sounds like it's a positive thing. Toast Malone, great name, says hi. What's up, Toast Malone? How you doing? Thanks for joining me tonight. Let's see. Biden will be home by by 24. Big Dog Bulldog, when's the next collab? Yep, we'll see when that happens. Toast Malone, would love to meet you. Yeah, I mean, I'm always in Florida. If you're ever in Florida, let me know. You definitely could DM me on Instagram. Instagram is probably the best way to get in touch with me. I'm going to be honest, though. I don't ever meet anybody that doesn't have like a legit Instagram profile or Facebook profile because for my own personal safety. So if you have like an anonymous page or you have like a meme page, I need to protect myself and my dogs first. So I don't meet people unless they have like a legit Instagram or Facebook profile. But if you have that, DM me on Instagram and maybe we can meet up one day. Toast Malone. Yes, I am from Queens, Forest Hills. I'm from Forest Hills, Queens. And I'm very proud of being from New York. I think New Yorkers are cut from a different cloth. And I'm surprised that so many New Yorkers hate Trump because Trump has the personality of a New Yorker. You know, he's loud, he's brash, he's aggressive, he says what's on his mind, and that's what New Yorkers are known for. So the fact that New Yorkers don't like Trump is very bizarre to me. It's very bizarre. Toast Malone, Puerto Rican conservative, very nice. That's awesome to hear. And I think that we need more, and I hate to use the terms that the left uses, but we really do need people of color that are proud and open about being a Trump supporter, because we need to normalize, we need to change the narrative. Right now, the Democrats feel that they have ownership of people of color votes. And the reason why they think that way is because a majority of people of color do support and vote Democrat, which is unfortunate. But the ones that are engaged and informed or have escaped communist countries or socialist countries, we need to be out there loud and proud, even if it's just to cause interest and intrigue. You know, I'm able to wear my MAGA hat in public because people see me as a Mexican or Latino, or maybe they don't know what I am. But when I have the MAGA hat, I don't think that they see me as a white supremacist right away. They can't, because I'm not a white guy. So I think that that's able to kind of start to normalize and shift perceptions of who the Trump supporter is. So I think if all of us who are black, brown, Indian, Native American, Asian, whatever it is, come out and have the courage, because it does take some courage to do this, I think for the next election, we can really normalize Trump supporting and also hopefully get the red wave that we thought we had this year. Yeah, Toast Malone, add me on Instagram. I don't use Instagram anymore because I'm shadow banned. Instagram has shadow banned me twice. The first time was after the election. They killed my engagement by 90%. And then last week I had posted something about COVID in my stories, and that was the exact moment that I got shadow banned a second time at 90%. So I do think that Instagram has levels to shadow bans, and they can do it more than once, which to me is kind of terrifying. So my Instagram engagement is so low right now, it's just not worth investing time and supporting the platform right now. And obviously I'm hoping that Trump's lawsuit does work out, because we need to, these big tech companies are absolutely out of control. And it's really sad. Like, we're supposed to be the U.S. freedom of speech and may the best thoughts win. As long as you're not calling for violence or hurting somebody, I think free speech should be covered. Even if you're an idiot, even if you say something that's been proven wrong, you should still be allowed to have those thoughts and then be proven wrong in the public court of social, media, and not have these big tech people determine who's right and who's wrong, because a lot of times big tech is ultimately wrong. Even Facebook, they used to ban articles saying that COVID was made in a lab, and now it's allowed. Why did it change? It should have always been allowed, because the bottom line is that was always a legit theory. And we still don't know the actual answer, but the fact that they can come in and control the narrative to such a high degree like that, it's pretty terrifying. And obviously, Trump supporters, we're forced to kind of like look under the hood, do more research, really dig deep. So we're able to find the information in other places. But for a disengaged American who doesn't really look deep and only absorbs what's on the surface level, well, then they're going to get the liberal narrative. And that's the problem, is that that's all they're going to really get. So I think it's important that we have to go back to complete freedom of speech here in the U.S. And I'm hoping by next election, we'll actually have that ability. But based on everything I've heard from thinkers like Tim Pool, from Liberal Hive Minds, from Ben Shapiro, I think that 2023, the next election cycle, is going to be even worse. And that's a terrifying thought. But I really hope that we can get back on track as the U.S. Let's see. Allen's in Ridgewood. Nice. I know Ridgewood. Silver and black Mexicans for Trump. That's right. Jason says Hawaii for Trump. Yeah, I know a lot of Hawaiians that love Trump. And I think it's kind of cool that in Hawaii, even though you guys are obviously Americans, you're kind of removed from the mainland. So I think that your approach is just, it's more of like a unique silo that the rest of America doesn't have, because obviously getting to Hawaii is expensive, and it's also a big commitment in terms of flight cost and time. So I think Hawaii is cool because it's siloed off by its own. Whereas the rest of the U.S., there's a lot of internal traveling that happens between states. But I love Hawaii. I've been to Hawaii twice. I went to Hawaii for my 30th birthday. I was in the island of Maui. And what's crazy is when I was 29, I actually I took my mother's ashes to Hawaii, and I scattered them in Maui in the ocean. So to me, Maui and Hawaii is always going to have a special place in my heart. And the reason why my mom wanted her ashes scattered in the ocean there, which I think is absolutely beautiful, is because when my mom was in her 20s, she was with my dad, and my mom and dad were flying to Hawaii. My mom looked out the window as they were leaving Hawaii, and she looked down at the island and said to my dad, this is the most beautiful place I've ever been in my life. When I die, I want you to bury my ashes here. And my mom said that to my dad in her 20s. So the fact that my dad remembered that his entire life, my mom passed away when she was 12 years ago. So when she was about 63 years old when she passed away from cancer, to me, it was very emotional that my dad remembered what my mom had said 40 years, 30 years prior, 40 years prior, bury my ashes here. And we did. We did in Hawaii. And I'm the son that carried the ashes from New York to LA to Hawaii. So it was obviously very emotional for me. And obviously, I mean, look, I get some people when it comes to death and it comes to burial, they want a tombstone or they want some kind of physical location that they can have. I still have that because if I go back to Maui, I can go to the Ritz-Carlton. That's where I buried her, behind the Ritz-Carlton. It was like a half-hour cliff walk. I had to walk on the cliff. And so I could still find that spot and I could still be there and go there. So I do have that burial site that a lot of people want. But it was cool, and Hawaii is always going to be very special to me, special place in my heart. And it is probably one of the best places in America and probably one of the most beautiful places in the world. It's just really, really awesome. So if you guys have not been to Hawaii, definitely go there. The next time I go to Hawaii, I'll make sure I vlog because I haven't vlogged. Okay, now that let's stop being emotional right here. Toast Malone, my IG is the same here as it is on YouTube, Adam Francisco. You have to type my full name in because I'm shadow banned. Carlos says, voter ID a must. No ID, no vote. I agree 100%. And I've got out and I've asked Black Americans, Latino Americans, do you have an ID? They've always said yes. So I can't find people of color that don't have an ID. I think that the idea that it's a racist concept is a myth. Now, if you want to say that it's a classist concept, that actually makes more sense to me. If you want to say classism is an issue, then that's fine. I can actually understand that. But when you say voter ID is racist, that's a myth. Voter ID is classist. Now you have a little bit of an argument that I can actually understand. Big Dave, I'm going to actually show his comment to everybody because I want you guys to see what I deal with as a Mexican-American Trump supporter. Big Dave here, who I don't know who this person is, said ICE should round this Mexican up and send him back. So this guy here obviously thinks that ICE has some kind of jurisdiction on me because I'm Mexican. I hate to break it to Big Dave over here, but the reality is a lot of Latinos and a lot of Mexicans are legal citizens of this country. We are passport holders. We are Americans just as much as you might be or as much as you think you are. But when you say things like this to other citizens of the U.S., this makes me question how American you are. When you could look at a fellow American, look at their skin color, and say you should be deported because of your skin color, I think the issue is you. One of the strengths of the U.S. is the fact that we are a diverse country of many different nations, many different religions. Now, of course, that also causes a lot of issues too, because we don't have a collective mindset here. We're very individualistic, and that's fine, but that's what makes America great and a beautiful experiment. And so, Big Dave, I really do think that you should really take a look in the mirror and really just reflect on why you would say something like that to a fellow American who loves this country, supports this country, and really is just trying to do right by the U.S. and of course speak my mind in a positive way. So thank you, Big Dave, for showing my audience that racism is real. I don't think America is racist because I don't ever wake up and think about racism. It's not something that I ever have to worry about. But I always said that there are racists in this country, and Big Dave, might be one of them. So you got to go check that out. Jason, I've never been to Oahu, but I've heard beautiful things there, and I hope that I can go there. So Toast Malone says if anyone's interested, add his IG. Yeah, if anyone could add their IG in the thread, and Toast Malone will add you guys. Toast Malone, I'm sorry to hear that. What's crazy is your mom died of cancer at 57, you were 19. My mom was 62 technically, and I was 25. And so it's almost like our story shifted by 5 years, but we had a similar experience. I think, to me, losing a mom before I was a man, right? I was 25 years old, so legally I'm a man, but I wasn't yet set in my career. I wasn't financially successful yet. I wasn't financially independent yet. I was living paycheck to paycheck still. I never got to that point of being an independent human when my mom was here. So she never got to see me become successful and become the man. Now me and my dad's like my best friend now, which is awesome. But I never got to that point with my mom, and that's one thing I wish I had a chance to do is become friends with my mom. Become a true friend where I could talk to her about adult issues, about everything. And unfortunately, the fates of the universe, we never had that, and it definitely sucks. So I always tell people, when it comes to your parents, you only have two. Again, obviously you might have step parents and stuff like that, but you guys get my point here. You only have your parents while they're here on this planet, and so it's important that if you can possibly put aside your differences and have a relationship, you should always strive to do that, because one day it will be too late. And if biology happens the way it always does, your parents typically die before you do. And so you people have to always be aware of that mortality will happen for your parents. And as this one channel I follow says, it's called Active Self-Protection. It's a show about protecting yourself and responsible gun ownership. He always says you have to have spiritual fitness. Every day you have to make sure that you tell your loved ones what you need to tell them, that you're at peace, because when it's time to go, you won't have time to make those phone calls. You won't have time to make amends and apologize, or that's it. Once you're done, you're done. Once they're done, that's it. Everything's done. So while everyone's here on this planet, make sure you try to be good to the people that you want to be good to. That's a very important takeaway. So sorry about your mom. Let's see. Typical. Yep. Let me see what else. Hold on. I'm getting a lot of comments coming in. Toast Malone says, my boyfriend saw a topless woman walking around the streets here in New York City, and she was getting angry that people were staring at her. So I've seen that before in New York. I've seen models doing topless photo shoots. And in New York, being topless as a woman is legal. So they're not doing anything wrong. But at the end of the day, you are going to have men look at you because, first of all, biology, right? Straight men like to see those. Let's just call it like it is. And also, it's uncommon and rare. So you're probably going to get double takes. That's the bottom line. Matthias Granlund says, Candace Owens, Mike Pence, GOP ticket. Unfortunately, anything with Mike Pence's name is not going to get support other Republicans. That's just, the way it is. Whatever your opinion is of Mike Pence, whether you think he did the right thing or the wrong thing, whatever it is, he doesn't have any support, and he won't for the 2024 ticket. Candace Owens, fantastic. She just should not run with Mike Pence. If anything, I'd like to see a combination of Trump, DeSantis, Candace Owens. I would accept that combination anyway. For me, Trump's my number one. I'd like to see DeSantis run as his VP so that he can learn the ropes for 4 years. And then in 2028, maybe DeSantis could be the ticket with Candace Owens. I think that would be really special. But we'll see. Thank you, Jake, for happy birthday. I appreciate that. America is great. Oh, the Restream is on. Nice. Yeah, Restream, he's awesome. He's much bigger than me. So if you guys got to go watch the Restream, enjoy. Have a good time. Matthias Granlund. Yeah, I mean, they do see racism everywhere. I only see racism when it actually is legit racism, when someone like Big Dave here says things like that. Otherwise, I don't, see it everywhere. Big Dave added more. He said, I give Mexicans a bad name, get a job. So Big Dave, the good news is I live off of the stock market and cryptocurrency. And so I've decided to live a high risk, high reward kind of lifestyle where I take money as needed from the stock market, from my crypto. And as a result, I don't need to have a typical 9-to-5 job. And to be honest, I honestly do see 9-to-5 jobs as just not conducive to the kind of lifestyle I want to live. And you guys could probably find this out on Google, but when I did work a 9-to-5 job in advertising sales, I was making the same amount of money as a surgeon would. And so I was what's called a high income individual. So I made a lot of money when I was working because I'm very good at my job, which is advertising sales. However, with working in advertising sales, at least pre-COVID, there was a lot of whining and dining. So I'd have to go out 5 nights a week with clients to restaurants and bars. And while that sounds like a dream lifestyle, especially when you're making so much money, it's really not healthy to be eating, every day out at these fancy lavish restaurants, to be drinking 3 bottles of wine a night. It's tough to stay in shape. So I now live a life of frugality, and I'm much happier and I'm much freer. And that's why I can go out and do these YouTube videos every day, for you guys as well as for myself, because I do like watching my YouTube videos later. It's kind of like, for me, a journal or a diary of what I was doing back in time, which is pretty cool. So let's see what else we got here. Yeah, Toast Malone, it's cool that we have those similarities. Mr. 79 Man says to come visit Arizona. I will probably visit Arizona at some point. There was many years ago, I dated a beautiful girl in Arizona, so I would go there every now and then to see her. Carlos Hopkins, proud Mexican American as well. That's right. God said to go make peace with the people you're quarreling before you ask God for forgiveness. Yeah, I agree. If you are a person of religious beliefs, which I'm personally am not right now at this point in my life, that might change. But if you are of religious beliefs, how can you expect to ask God for forgiveness when you can't ask a fellow human for forgiveness? So that's just me thinking logically. So I do think it's important to try to forgive and be kind to everyone while you're on this planet over here. Vincent Garzon is a proud Ecuadorian American. His parents were born in Ecuador. He was born in Miami. Awesome. Very cool. Love to hear that. The Malmo Sun, Trump 2024 from Sweden. That's right. We are going to do the best we can to fight for this country in 2024. My profile is public, so if you type Adam Francisco, I'll come up. But you have to type in the full name. If you just type in a few initials, like, it won't auto-populate because I'm shadow banned. JC said DeSantis is nobody's VP. If he's not on the ticket, on the top of the ticket, then we Floridians will keep him as our governor. I mean, that's also a great point. If DeSantis is not on the ticket, maybe it's best to keep him as governor of Florida. But I don't know, guys. I really do think Trump's going to win, and I'd love to see him get a second term. Nevada, New Miss Nevada is a okay. I can't really read that out loud because I just got to be careful what I say. So Carlos Hopkins, I don't know if you know, but we actually interviewed her on my channel. Tara and we interviewed her on the TNA show. So if you guys search her name on my YouTube channel, type in Cataluna Enriquez. If you just type her name, my video with her is one of the top videos that'll show up. But we did a whole podcast with her. It was a 30-minute discussion about her life as a trans woman, what it's like. And again, I might be a Trump supporter, but as you guys know, I'm also moderate in my political beliefs, and I do believe in trans rights. Now, the difference is there's limitations to how far I believe when it comes to trans rights. For example, I don't think it's fair to have trans women compete against women in sports. To me, that's a line that I don't think is safe to cross. And we've seen the results of that, of trans women just setting world records and destroying women. It's hard to be pro-trans women in sports and then also be pro-women. They kind of conflict with each other. However, when it comes to something like a beauty pageant, that's the key word there is it's beauty pageant. And if a trans woman can go through whatever she needs to do to look beautiful, look feminine, you know what? It is a beauty pageant. And so I have no issue with her being in a beauty pageant. It's not called a women's beauty pageant. It's called a beauty pageant. Typically, it is women, obviously. But again, Cataluna is obviously an extremely beautiful woman. I bet a lot of us right here, had we not known her backstory, you would have seen her and had no idea that she was a trans woman. That's just the fact. That's just the reality. And so to me, I'm okay with beauty pageants because it's not about strength. It's more about beauty and mindset. Whereas sports is about strength. Sports has nothing to do with beauty. Mindset in terms of being aggressive in your sport like Jordan or Kobe. You have that killer instinct. LeBron doesn't have that, but Jordan and Kobe have the killer instinct. So that's why I'm okay with beauty pageants. I'm not okay with sports. So just keep that in mind. Let's see. Yeah, Alan, that's exactly it. Trump's only allowed one more term, so might as well give it to him. Let him have his 2 terms. He'll be, I think, the second president to do non-back-to-back terms, and that'll be awesome. I'd love to see that. I think that'd be really cool. Truck Lover 389, what's up? He says Big Dave is such a passive-aggressive that he won't actually say what his real issue is. He's clearly one of those inclusive. Yeah, I mean, it is strange to receive so much hatred from people that don't really know me. I mean, you guys, there's an asymmetry of information that happens here as a YouTuber, which you guys have to be aware of, which means you know more about me than I know about most of you, except for Tara. Tara is someone I know a lot about. But for everyone else, you know, a lot of you, I don't even know what you look like. I don't even know your names. All I have is a username, and I have some sentiment and beliefs from you. So there's an asymmetry of information that happens here on these platforms. And because of that, that allows people like Big Dave to say things to me through the internet that he likely wouldn't have the courage or whatever you want to call it to say to me in real life. Because at the end of the day, I am a really nice guy. I'm very approachable. I talk to everybody. I'm super kind. And so I don't think someone like Dave would make those claims to me in public or in person, especially if we're surrounded in a public area where there are other minorities and Mexicans and Latinos who might overhear him, and then they would likely come to my defense, because what he's saying is far worse than me saying I'm a Trump supporter. That's just the reality. Mr. Man, I do want to come to Arizona at some point soon. I think Arizona is awesome. Hey, Ray. Yeah, Ray's cool. Ray Valente, I know exactly what you look like. We're Facebook friends and family, so that's pretty cool. So Jason says, Hawaii, my state, must have the most left politicians in history, and our left must be the worst governor in the history of the United States. Hawaii needs to start voting red. I hope so. I hope you guys are red, because you already are blue enough with the ocean all around you. So you need to put a little bit of red in there. You know, I was out with a girl recently who was a legal and licensed gun owner. She had a permit for a concealed carry, and it was pretty cool to know that if something were to happen and go down, I was with someone who was a responsible, trained owner of a concealed carry. Because a lot of these, unfortunately, bad guys are always going to find a way to get weapons, right? I don't even know what kind of tangent this is, but whatever. Bad guys are always going to find a way to get weapons. So the only way to really counter that is to have good guys that also have weapons, because there's a famous quote, a well-armed society is a polite society. And I think that that's important because, you know, you have so many mass shootings in America. And the reason why is because the people that they're going after are helpless. When someone has a weapon and you don't have one, you're just kind of a sitting duck. What do you do? But if somebody in that store was also a concealed, legal, responsible permit holder, then you can at least mount a defense. You could try. And there's been countless stories that you can find on the news where a licensed, legal, concealed carry did prevent a mass shooting. So it does happen. We just don't read about that on the news because it's just not as newsworthy. It doesn't get as many clicks. I think some women kind of feel like they're erased or not good enough if a biological male wins a beauty pageant. However, I totally understand what you're talking about. Yeah, you know, I get it. That's supposed to be a space for women. But again, you know, I see a beauty pageant as beauty and mindset, not strength. And as a matter of fact, I would also argue that a trans woman would be at a disadvantage in a beauty pageant, because a trans woman, being that she was born a biological male, is going to have a lot of masculine features, which most, let's say this correctly, most cisgender straight men do not find masculine women to be that attractive. Say what you want. There are men that are into that, but the majority of men, the vast majority, like their women looking feminine. So I do believe a trans woman in a cisgender beauty pageant is at a disadvantage because they have to reduce their masculine feature that they were born with. So I don't think that they get the same advantage that they do in sports as they do in a beauty pageant. Yeah, that's silver and black. That's what I kind of realized in Mexico was I did a video. I don't know if you guys saw it, but when I was in Mexico, I asked Mexicans what they thought about Trump and the wall, and most of them obviously hate Trump because of what the media told them about him. But then when I spoke to them off camera and I said, well, you know, are you conservative? They all say yes. I say to them, do you find illegal immigration to be an issue in Mexico? They say yes. I say, don't you want a strong southern border? They all say yes. Don't you believe in religion? They all say yes. So when you start talking to them about policies and beliefs and ideologies, they are conservative thinkers and they should vote Republican. But it just comes down to the man. They just hate the man so much that it becomes an emotional type of reaction. Let's see. Rick G says there's no more pressure now. I'm a judge. Is to be too woke. Trans should just have their own category, also in sports. Yeah. Oh, 1 second, guys. I need to grab something real quick. Okay, I'm back. Oh. Yeah, I don't know much about pageants, but you know who does? Tara from the Polish American Brotherhood. As you guys know, Tara was a beauty pageant winner. She won a lot of beauty pageants when she was younger, for like the state of Florida, different cities. So if you guys want, maybe we could do a live stream with Tara, and we could talk about beauty pageants. Yeah, Siri's a little bit not as dependable as I was hoping she would be. I don't know if I'm allowed to vape on camera, but I think it should be okay. These people still obsessed with Trump. They blame him for everything. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. They still blame him for everything. I had a conversation today with my brother for like a half hour about politics, and it's just, it's always just tough to talk to people on the other side because there's just no common ground anymore. There's really very few things that you can agree with. Very, very little overlap these days, But anyway, guys, it's almost 9 p.m. I'm going to go to a local bar in the area, here in Tampa. So if you guys want to send me messages, check me out on Instagram. You can DM me there. That's the best way to contact me because I check my DMs. Even though I'm not posting to Instagram anymore, I still check my DMs all the time. And also, guys, make sure that you follow me on Getter. So make sure you go to Getter, Gettr, Getter. Okay, that's the new app for conservatives. Sign up and add me on Getter. Adam Francisco, same name on Getter. I only have like 22 subscribers there, so I'm hoping to get more so I can start to use Getter more, and that's going to be my pure Trump content. So here's Big Dave, who says, I hate both parties. There is scumbags on both sides. Neither party has the people's interest at heart, and that goes for Trump too. Yeah, Big Dave, I mean, that's one thing I'll agree with you on, is that I think that both the Democrats and Republicans each have their own issues, which is why I'm an independent voter. I don't choose either party. I'm independent. I'm just a Trump supporter. I'm not even a conservative. I'm just a Trump supporter. I want to make sure that's very clear. But the reason why I side with Republicans is because a lot of their ideologies, to me, make more sense. For example, building the wall, I support. Gun rights, I support. Pro-life, I lean towards. When it comes to anti-critical race theory, I'm all about that. When it comes to less regulation in business, I'm all about that. And so my beliefs do align closely with the Republican values, more so than the Democrats by far. But I'm not going to commit to being a Republican because I don't think they do enough. I think that they're very lazy, and I think that the Democrats are very strategic, and the Republicans got to get their act together. That's the bottom line. Yeah, Mr. Man. And I have a great video for my birthday coming up tomorrow. You'll see a vlog with Andrea. So... yeah, Jason, follow me on Rumble, and then send me your channel on Instagram, and I'll follow you back. So Renzo is a common poster on my channel. My body, my choice is correct for the vaccine. However, I don't consider a pregnant woman that's her body, and that's the issue. When she's pregnant, that's not her body. It's another person's body that's inside of her. That person needs her body to survive, but it's not her body because it's a separate human being. Because when that baby is born, it's still not her body. It came out of her body, but it's not her body, and therefore it's not her choice. The right expression would be our bodies, my choice. She has to take responsibility that the baby inside of her is a new human. And if she wants to terminate that or have an abortion, that's fine, but you have to be accountable for the fact that you are killing and murdering another human being. That's just the way I see it. And if you don't see the baby or the fetus inside the womb as another human being, then we'll never agree. Because if we can't agree on that definition, there's never going to be agreement. The way I see it, when I was born, when I was out of the womb on this planet, when I was a teenager, when I was 25 years old, when I was 38 today, these are all the life cycles of being a human. And all that starts on conception. When you're conceived, that is the first day that you are a human, because you're just as a human then as you are once you're in the real world. And as a matter of fact, I would argue you're more of a human then than you are now, because you still have the rest of your life to live. That's my perspective. It's not going to change because I already changed it from the other side. I was pro-choice my whole life. I agreed, my body, my choice. I thought a woman had the right to terminate a baby whenever she wanted to for whatever reason. I was tricked and brainwashed by the liberal ideology, and I was wrong. And maybe one day we'll talk more about this because I have two personal stories why I'm pro-life, but that's not for today. That'll be for another time. See, and that's the problem, Renzo. You see it as a clump of cells. You were a clump of cells one day, Renzo. And I bet every day that you're alive, you are happy that you were not aborted. So that's the bottom line. We're going to move on from that topic right now. Exactly, Bob P. It's a human. A human starts on conception, becomes a zygote, becomes a fetus, becomes a baby, becomes a newborn baby, becomes an infant, becomes a toddler, becomes a child, becomes a teenager, becomes a young man, becomes a young woman, becomes an adult, becomes a father, becomes a grandparent, and then dies. And here's the thing about being pro-life. The way I see it, and this is my favorite analogy, the way I see it, this earth, this world, this experience is a gigantic club. And guess what? We've all been allowed in the club. So who are we to tell the people outside the club whether or not this world is worth coming to for them? We should not make that decision for someone else. They should be born, and then they should make that decision on their own. That's the bottom line. And that's how I feel. Existence is precious and rare. Think about this. Think about time. How long has time been around for? Infinity? Let's even, you know what? Let's make it less abstract. Let's say time has existed for 10 billion years. 10 billion years, time has been around. That's a long damn time. And within that 10 billion years, each of us, if we're lucky, get to experience 80 years. And what do those 80 years mean for us? To smell, to breathe, to hear music, to experience museums, artwork, parks, dog ownership, children, heartbreak, love, marriage, divorce, everything. We get these experiences that make us uniquely human. And so who are we to say to a future life, you don't get those 80 years of the 10 billion years that time has existed and life has been around? We don't have that right. And so I always say white privilege is nonsense. Black privilege is nonsense. All that stuff is nonsense. In my mind, there's only two types of privileges in the world. There's health privilege. I'll go three. Health privilege, wealth privilege, and existence privilege. And I think the most powerful privilege of all is existence privilege. The second most powerful is health, and the third is wealth. Because if you take a billionaire who's got a terminal disease and you say to him, we can cure you if you give us all of your money, 99.9% of those billionaires will say yes. That's the bottom line. So existence privilege is number one, which we all have. Every single person on this live stream, we all exist right now. We are all alive right now at this moment. And that is a blessing. And we have no right to take that away from someone else in the future. It's the bottom line. And if you can't get behind that, and this is not a religious argument, by the way. This is just simply an existence argument, a scientific argument, and a biological argument. That's the bottom line. And once again, Renzo, the government already tells us what we can do with our bodies. For example, Renzo, you cannot go out and kill somebody. If you do, you go to jail. Maybe you get the death sentence. That's the same thing as the government telling you what you can and cannot do with your body. When you have to pay taxes, that is the same thing as the government telling you what you can or cannot do with your body. If you don't pay taxes, they come for you and they put you in jail. That is the government telling you what you can and cannot do with your body. So yes, you already accept the government telling you what to do with your body. It's just this one thing makes you a bit uncomfortable. And that's why you're against it. But that baby inside the womb is not her body. It's in her body, but it's not her body. Jake Zab said it best. What's the first thing you ask a pregnant woman when you first encounter in a public or private setting? How's your baby or how's your body? There you go. There you go. How's your baby? That's the bottom line. Mr. Mann says adoption over abortion. Exactly. Now, I'm going to tell, before I leave, I'll tell you guys a quick story. I was adopted at birth, as you guys know. Most of you guys probably know. And for those of you who don't know, Planned Parenthood was started by a woman called Margaret Sanger, who believed in eugenics. And one of her quotes, she said, was she believed that poor people, especially of color, should be eradicated like weeds. You guys could check that quote out. I was born to a poor Mexican family in Mexico. My biological mother could not afford having a baby, and then she asked my biological grandparents for money. They couldn't afford me either. So I was literally born as the poster child for a baby that should have been aborted based on Margaret Sanger and Planned Parenthood's original beliefs. The fact that I wasn't aborted and put up for adoption resonates extremely deeply to me. And if I was given this chance and I was lucky enough to be adopted, then any baby has that chance. Not all babies get adopted by good families, not all babies get adopted. I understand that. But when they're carried to term and born, they are given a chance, and that's all we can ask for. It's kind of like when I go into a casino. I don't expect to win every time, but I just want a fair chance. If the game is rigged or the cards are messed up, that's not fair to me. Just asking for a fair chance, and that's what a baby deserves, is a fair chance. Big Dave, I hear you're saying about less regulations aren't helpful to people. And one of my good friends, my accountant, actually gave me a good example. Let's talk about baby cribs, for example. When it comes to baby cribs, did you guys know the bars have to be built at a certain distance because if the bars are too long, the baby can get their head stuck and then they could die or get choked to death. And so the government comes in and they add a standard for baby cribs that the bars have to be 5 inches max between the pegs in the baby crib. That's an example of government regulation where I think it does work out and it does make sense. So I'm not saying to remove all regulations, but I'm saying we want to be less regulated, and that's our Republican belief. Bob P, exactly. Thank you, Rick. I believe you're Polish because your last name's Zelensky. I think skis are always Polish. So make sure you subscribe to the Polish American Brotherhood. Yep, Sanger was Sanger was a crazy person. Well, Renzo, we're just gonna have to agree to disagree because I used to be thinking just like you. So that's the issue here. Is I used to be a liberal, a Democrat, and I switched because I just did a lot more reflection, a lot more research. So maybe one day you'll switch too. Maybe not. Maybe you're going to be Democrat, liberal for life, and that's fine. That's your body, your choice, right? But for me, I came from your side. Everything, all your arguments, I've heard because I used to use the exact same arguments you're using when it came to people that were pro-life. But I had it wrong. Abortion is murder, and abortion is wrong in almost every case. It's what I believe, and that's it. It's not going to change my mind. Renzo, I mean, I had a feeling you were something on the left. And, obviously there are some social programs in the U.S. that we need, and that we have. But honestly, I think that it's gone too far. It's gone too far. You give a bear every one of its meals, it forgets how to hunt. It loses its drive. It becomes complacent and it accepts where it's at. And that's what's happening to our country. People aren't working hard because our government is willing to give them such a ridiculous safety net. And so we have a lot of lazy Americans now that are surviving off the system. And, if you really do love socialism, I really encourage you to move to a country that has really gone all in on socialism. I really think that it'd be worth your time to move to Venezuela, to move to China, to really experience what socialism and communism can become. And if you go there and you're happy, then good for you. You should stay there. And you'll have a great life. And it's one that you'll be a supporter of and you'll believe in. And you won't have to worry about being kidnapped or silenced by your government because you're going to be a socialist communist anyway. So you're literally going to be supporting their party. Yeah, if you want to move to Canada, go ahead. In Canada, you could go to jail for using the wrong pronoun. If that's what you want, please go. You have a passport, no one's stopping you. If you don't like America and you want to go to a socialist country, just go. No one's going to hold it against you. My biggest issue with America, I have one issue with America. I have one issue. And you know what the issue is? It's expensive as hell to live in. That's my only issue is America is expensive. And so it's very hard to not have income and live here because you have to manage your money if you're living off the stock market or crypto. You got to slow down your spending. You can't get a massage every day. So my biggest issue with America is the cost of living. But I understand that because this is also a country where you can also make a lot of money. But that's the reason why I moved to Thailand for a year and a half. And that's why I try to spend 6 months of the year out of the country. So for those 6 months, I can slow my spending and I can get richer through my investments. So then when I come back to the US for 6 months and I'm spending normally again, I've built a little bit of a nest egg for myself while I was living in Mexico or Thailand. I can live in Mexico or Thailand for 25 bucks a day, including rent, while getting a massage every single day. I can't do that here in the US. That's the bottom line. The cheapest hotel is going to be 50 bucks. And that's when you're staying in a dump like this. So, to me, I love the US, I love America, I love its values. We need to protect those values. And so I'm going to do what I can to fight for America. You know? Thank you, Sunshine Happy Lady. Renzo says, if I leave the U.S., I'll probably become a victim of their foreign policy. Yeah, I would love to hear what you're talking about. How would you become a victim of their foreign policy? There are ways that you could move to these countries and become a citizen. You know, I could move to Philippines, and if I invest 50 grand into the economy, I become a citizen. It's like an economic incentive, which is one thing that I'm debating doing when they open up to non-vaccinated individuals. I'm debating going to the Philippines and putting $50,000 into maybe a hotel or hostel that I can live out of and run. Because if there's a couple things I'm good at sales, I'm good at networking, I'm good at social media, I'm good at vlogging. So I would have such an awesome social media presence and customer service for my hotel. I know that I would kill it in the hospitality industry. So that's something that I might consider doing. So I would not become a victim to foreign policy because I would be investing in the country to the point that I'm a citizen, just like anybody else. I might be looked at differently by the locals there, and I get that, and I'm prepared to deal with that because I'm a global traveler. I travel all around the world. I know what it's like to be different and be an outsider, and it's totally fine for me. So guys, just so you know, if you guys are using any type of curse words on the chat, YouTube automatically censors you, and I have to manually show the comment. Thank you, Sunshine Happy Lady. I think we're having a good chat, guys, so I might stay a little bit longer. Other countries can offer a daily free massage because of the tax money they receive from America. It's not just that, Ronwin Lee. It's also that the cost of living is so low. You can get a 1-hour massage in Thailand for $6 an hour. In Vietnam, it's about $8 to $10 an hour. I think Philippines is about $4 an hour. So it's just the cost of these services are so cheap in these countries, which doesn't really have, that's not tied, I don't believe, to taxpayer money, but it's just all about the cost of living. Yeah, Bob P., that's exactly it. I don't want to talk about immunity from COVID because if I say anything that could be considered medical misinformation, they're going to strike my channel. So I'm not going to talk about immunity of COVID right now. We're going to skip that topic today. If anything, I might do a video on Rumble at some point about that. But here, I keep my YouTube channel very, very clean and moderated because, excuse me, I got to be very careful here. I think YouTube is the most important search engine in the world for YouTube for a video content creator, and I can't lose this channel because it's basically the door to my house. But if you guys want to see how I really feel, then you guys can go to Rumble. Beck Live, all my Rumble videos are the uncensored versions. So if you just click the videos on Rumble, those are all the uncensored ones. I don't put the censored versions on YouTube on Rumble. I keep the censored on YouTube, uncensored on Rumble. Big Dave, foreigners can't own property or business without being married to a Filipino. I heard, though, that if you invest $50,000 into a business, that there's a way around that. The problem is most people can't afford to do that, so it's not a common thing. But I believe that there's economic ways to become a property business owner in the Philippines with enough of an investment. So I'll look that up. I'll fact check myself at some point, but because I can't do that right now. Hershey Moscow, it's jalapeno. That's right. That's exactly what I am. What did Bob P say? Thank you, Jason, so much. Oh, we got a young man. That's awesome. Jason, I hope you and your father are having a great day, and thank you for joining me on this channel. Yeah, so the Rumble vlogs look the same, but when you watch them, when you watch my YouTube videos, you guys might notice I've been putting a lot of static inside the videos on YouTube. So you'll see like static. Those static scenes are removed on Rumble. So unless you watch the full video, you won't realize that they're uncensored. But Rumble is going to have static-free videos. YouTube is going to have the videos with the static in it. What's up, Solomon? That's a great name. Very strong name. It's getting close to that time, guys, where I have to hit the road soon and go to a local bar and see what happens. Let's see. We got more questions coming in. What is socialism? I know what socialism is. It's when you return. It's like when you give the means of production or something to the society, to the community. You give them the power. But I'm sorry. I really do believe in capitalism. And I do think, at the end of the day, look, unfortunately, most companies are pyramid schemes because the guy at the top makes the most money. But look at America. Compare us to socialism. That's the proof is in the pudding. We are the number one GDP country in the world, and that's because we're capitalist. Again, Renzo, if you love socialism so much, go to Cuba, go to China, go to Venezuela, go to North Korea. Please go and start a YouTube channel. Become a vlogger and talk about how good the life is there. Show us how good socialism works. Prove it to us through action. And change minds that way. Don't change minds by talking about an ideology which you've never experienced. Go experience it. And then go see if you feel the same way. I know that I've been blessed to live in America, a capitalist country. I was blessed to make more money than my parents ever saw in my 20s. I was able to move my family's class up a level very soon in my lifetime. These countries, you can't do that. You can't really move up. And that's the thing that you're missing. What you're born to is kind of how you'll stay. And I don't know what you do. Renzo, I don't know your name. I don't know what you look like. I don't know what you do for a living. I have no freaking idea. And to be honest, I don't really care. But I've been blessed by capitalism in this country. And you can go to Socialist and start a YouTube channel. You could just become the socialist vlogger. That could be your new name, the socialist vlogger. And you could show us how good life is. If you're even allowed to have a YouTube channel. I don't think that you're allowed to be a big vlogger in these countries. You might get into some trouble. You might not even be able to access Facebook, for example. So, if you want socialism, which is a step to communism, the door's open. You got your passport. Peace, Renzo. Peace. Yeah, Alan, I will. We should start a GoFundMe for Renzo. If Renzo wants to give me his real name, I'll start a GoFundMe for Renzo. We'll raise a couple $1,000s for him. That's all he'll need to get his ticket and hotel for the first month. $2,000. We'll get his ticket and his hotel for the first month. Then he can. You know what? We'll do $2,500 so we can even buy him a camera. So we'll give him a camera. We'll give him a hotel, give him a flight, and then he can do it. All expenses paid trip for him. Thank you, Pluribus. I really appreciate it. I'm going to be doing a birthday vlog coming out tomorrow probably. I might work on it tonight when I come home. But it's just going to be like food and bullshitting with my friend Andrea. So you guys might like that. Big Dog, respect. That's awesome that you do that. That's really giving back to the community. I try to do my donations every month. I donated to Surfside, to the Miami collapse. I donated to 3 different charities. It wasn't a lot of money, but I was able to make a donation to these 3 charities, and hopefully the money's going to go towards good use. Renzo needs money for the bar, $10K. Okay. Hey, Renzo, we're offering you $2,500 to go to the socialist country of your choice. So you're more than welcome to take us up on the offer. DM me on Instagram. We'll put together a GoFundMe for you. All right, guys. I'm going to call it because we've been on for 69 minutes. I hope that that's a foreshadowing of my night. Whatever that means. I don't even know what that meant. But anyway, guys, I really appreciate you guys joining me tonight on this birthday live stream. You guys are such an engaged audience. I love talking with you guys. I really do. You guys are like-minded thinkers, most of you, except for Renzo and Big Dave. And but I also do welcome their feedback because it is nice to hear other perspectives. And I'm not so closed-minded. I mean, a lot of Renzo's comments I've had to make public on my channel. I have to manually click that. And he'll even tell you, I have not censored one of his comments. Everything he's wrote has showed up on the newsfeed. And I also do that. On his comments on my YouTube videos. He comments all the time on my YouTube videos. And I'm always more than welcome to leave those public. And I have no issue doing that. The only time that I censor people is if YouTube censors them. So a lot of times YouTube will censor them automatically. And most of the time, I will not uncensor their comments because I can't, if YouTube says it's not good, then I can't take a risk and put it up and say that it's okay. Anyway, guys, thank you so much again for all the support. We are going to be, Renzo, see? Common ground. I really do believe in free speech, but I can't go against the YouTube algorithm moderators. Whatever they do, automatically, I'm not gonna go against YouTube because it's too high risk of a move. And Renzo, you're always welcome on my channel to share your thoughts, to share your opinions, to share your perspective. You've always been welcome, and I think that that's been clear by the fact that your comments are always public, they always remain, and I'm gonna try to keep doing that as long as YouTube will let me. But we'll see what happens. Yeah, Big Dave, I'll look into that. I'm definitely not going to give my U.S. citizenship in my lifetime. But I do know that if I do have children in the Philippines, maybe that could be something that could be a loophole. We don't know. I'll have to look into this. Maybe I'll do a video on that one day. Research. Maybe I'll have a Filipino on the channel that can help me navigate this whole entire citizenship thing with the Philippines. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it. We're going to keep fighting for Trump and for DeSantis and for the red agenda because I do believe in it. And thank you again, guys. Cheers. I did finish my drink with you guys. And I appreciate you guys joining me tonight. So I will talk to you guys tomorrow probably. So see you guys soon. Be free, my sheeple.